High intelligence traits most people don't realize they have. Most people assume high intelligence is easy to spot. Perfect grades, an impressive vocabulary, the ability to recall random facts on demand. But psychologists keep uncovering something far more unexpected. People with extremely high intelligence rarely behave the way we expect them to. They don't blend in effortlessly. They don't fit the familiar stereotypes. And sometimes their habits look, honestly, a little strange. But here's the twist. These behaviors aren't flaws. They're not signs of dysfunction or social failure. They're signals of a mind operating on a completely different level. Today, we're exploring a few unusual habits that quietly suggest someone may possess one of the rarest forms of intelligence on Earth. And one of these habits is so unusual that psychologists still don't fully understand it. Let's begin. First, they talk to themselves a lot. This is one of the most misunderstood signs of high intelligence. Most people assume self-talk signals confusion or instability, but research suggests the opposite. Individuals with exceptionally high IQs often talk to themselves because it helps them think faster and more clearly. They think out loud. They rehearse conversations that haven't happened yet. They verbally guide themselves through problems as they unfold. This isn't madness, it's mental organization. Self-talk helps them break down complex ideas, regulate emotions, strengthen memory, and sharpen creativity. When their thoughts feel overwhelming, language becomes a tool to bring order to the chaos. What looks strange or awkward to others is, to their brain, a deliberate strategy. Second, they get bored with normal conversations. People with extremely high intelligence crave depth. Small talk exhausts them. Predictable conversations feel repetitive. Surface-level interactions can feel almost suffocating. This doesn't mean they believe they're better than others. It means their brain processes the world differently. They're energized by ideas, not chatter, by problem-solving, not gossip, by exploring meaning, patterns, and possibilities. They're drawn to philosophical questions, unconventional perspectives, and conversations that challenge how they think. They connect most deeply with people who make them reflect, not just people who fill silence. That's why they may seem quiet or distant in social settings. It isn't disinterest, it's selective engagement. Third, they notice everything. And this is the habit that surprises psychologists the most. Highly intelligent individuals often experience an intense form of awareness. They pick up on details others completely overlook. A subtle shift in someone's tone, a fleeting micro-expression, a pattern hidden within apparent chaos. Their brain is constantly gathering information even when they aren't consciously trying to. This makes them deeply intuitive, sometimes so intuitive it feels almost unnatural. But this ability comes with a cost. A mind that notices everything rarely knows how to shut off. A mind that talks to itself to find clarity, a mind that seeks depth over pleasantries, a mind that perceives the world in a resolution others can't access. These aren't quirks, they're the echoes of a powerful cognitive engine, and this engine doesn't power down on conversation's end. Overthinking isn't a weakness for them, it's a feature. Overthinking is often framed as anxiety, as indecision, as something that needs fixing. But in gifted minds, it serves a very different role. Highly intelligent thinkers overanalyze because they can't avoid seeing more. They see multiple outcomes branching from a single choice, hidden risks beneath simple decisions, long-term consequences most people never consider. This isn't fear-based thinking, it's pattern recognition operating at full capacity. Their mind becomes a simulator, constantly running future scenarios, testing possibilities, and weighing outcomes others would dismiss as unlikely or unnecessary. It's exhausting, but it's also powerful. This internal intensity shapes their social lives. Highly intelligent people don't need crowds, they need connection. Their social circle is often small by choice. One deep conversation matters more than 10 shallow ones. One authentic relationship outweighs dozens of casual connections. They'll choose solitude over forced interaction almost every time. This isn't social anti-social behavior, it's energy awareness. They quickly learn who drains them and who inspires them, and they establish firm, unapologetic boundaries to protect their mental energy. So what do they do with that protected energy? They disappear into their own minds. What looks like daydreaming or laziness from the outside is actually a cognitive advantage. Highly intelligent people often drift into rich internal worlds, not to escape reality, but to process it. They're imagining solutions, designing ideas, connecting concepts that don't appear related, exploring futures that don't exist yet. Neurological research supports this, showing that mind wandering activates the same brain networks responsible for creativity, innovation, and strategic planning. So when they seem absent, staring into space, they're often building something extraordinary internally. They also question everything: rules, traditions, beliefs, social expectations. Highly intelligent individuals don't accept information at face value. They need reasons, they need logic, they need truth without filters. This trait makes them powerful thinkers, innovators, and leaders, but it can also isolate them in systems that reward obedience over curiosity. They're not trying to rebel, they're trying to understand. And that relentless need to ask why is exactly what separates them from the average mind. All of these habits point to the same truth. The overthinking, the small social circle, the mind wandering, the constant questioning, they may seem unusual, but together they reveal a mind that refuses to slow down, a mind that won't settle for surface-level answers, a mind that rejects simple explanations for a complex world. People with extremely high intelligence experience life differently because their brains are wired for depth, pattern recognition, clarity, and meaning. If you recognized yourself in any of this, you may belong to what psychologists call the silent gifted, the ones who don't boast, who don't need validation, whose intelligence hides in simple sight. Because true intelligence isn't loud, it isn't flashy, and it isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's quiet, unusual, misunderstood, and sometimes it just looks a little weird.